Hello and welcome to this edition of Pop and Scott Talk Playoff Baseball. So I just want to say a few things before we jump into this. Sorry for people that are usually like this on Monday morning for driving to work. Have not felt well this weekend. I think most people know that watch my channel. Feeling better now though. So we're recording this Monday afternoon during the Cleveland Detroit game. And I just got that out of the way, but I want to say something there before I go to you and see what. I just want to say I want to apologize personally to the Philadelphia fans for always saying that they're probably some of the worst fans in baseball, because the Dodgers have taken the cake for that. They're by far the worst. They fight outsiders. They throw stuff on that was ridiculous last night. The Giants fans can attest to this, how they are, and now the Padre fans are getting it, and this is just ridiculous. So I just wanted to say that before I got started, because I feel like Philly fans, they get angry and they kind of take it out on their own people, on their own team. Yeah. And Dodger fans are a little bitchy. They're little schoolgirls, and when they don't win or get their way, they act like it, like angry girls.
It's a West Coast thing. It's LA.
It is. I don't know if you saw what happened.
No, I saw the highlight. I mean, I watched some of the game, and then I went to bed because the game was on so late. So I went to bed, and then I saw the highlights this morning, and Profar, he kind of got in their face in that after he made that catch, and he was flexing.
But he likes those. The Padres like to have fun.
Yeah. But everybody in baseball knows how the LA fans are. Yes. What did you expect? When you did that, what did you expect?
But still, you don't throw stuff.
No, I'm not saying what they did is right, son. I'm saying that if you don't want to get hit in the head with a baseball, don't do that. Because those crazy people might do that.
Yeah, but
Machado, he got in a big argument with a guy behind third base. They were going to meet each other in the parking lot.
Yeah, but and I think it's because a lot of people, and we talked about this, especially with the Latin American ball players, they like to have fun. They wear their emotions outside. Baseball's really, I think, gotten better because of it. Younger people really enjoy it. I think. Me as one, I enjoy it. I love the emotion and passion. But when you're playing against it sometimes, especially in the playoffs, and you're getting beat 10-3, you think it's showboating, especially in the gentleman's game that baseball is, supposedly.
Everybody does that now. I mean, Shohei hit the home run the other night through his bat. And I mean, it's just everybody does that.
And I think that's a little bit.
Guys, if you're going to do that, expect repercussion.
Right.
If you don't want the crowd to get mad at you, don't be standing there and doing this up. I mean, just don't. If you don't want them to be talking back and yelling at you, don't do that.
Right.
I mean, now throwing stuff on the field, beer cans and water bottles and baseballs, that's idiotic, but that's LA. I mean, that's the way they are. Southern California.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say it's like we, and I mean that as in the royal we, like as baseball fans outside of Philly, have given the Philly fans, rightfully so, this moniker. I mean, they threw snowballs at Santa Claus, right? So, that.
And they cheered when
Michael Irvin got hurt.
Yeah,
in Vet Stadium. They've earned what people have said about them. But my God, this is gone. Dodgers over the last decade have gone over the top. So I just wanted to start it off.
They killed a guy.
Yeah, and this playoff so far has been awesome.
Oh yeah,
and have this detraction of it. Like last night, I'm texting my Philly fans. My Mets are playing, and the Mets are losing. And I text them. I go, "What a great game! This is an awesome game. This is almost as good as the Braves Mets game to get in." And I'm like, "This is what playoff baseball. My Mets are playing with house money, so when they're playing the Philly this good. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. And I mean, and you can tell the way they're playing. They're loosey goosey. They're playing good. Ventos made a bad play at third with a man coming home. He didn't have his feet right before he got the ball, and that's and try to rush things. And I'm sitting there, and I like the move of putting your closer in a very important part of the game. But I started doing the math in my head, and I was like, wait a minute. The top of the order is going to come back up in the ninth inning. What are we doing? So that just proved the Mets not high on their bullpen. Right?
It tells you what he has in the bullpen. That's what that was telling you. I don't have anybody in the bullpen. I got to bring this
starter in McGill. So I was like, oh, okay. So we're going to extra innings. We got a starter in. He can go deep. We're not have to go deep into our bullpen. I like that move right there once he put McGill in.
Well, Philly started hitting the ball. The Phillies started after a game and a half. They started hitting, and I mean, the pitcher made two bad mistakes. First of all, I wouldn't have pitched to Harper. I don't care if there was a guy on first. I'd have walked him. I'd have pitched all around that plate. I wouldn't have given him any strike to hit.
He hit that ball, and I was like, "Oh my!"
You ask your stepmother, son. It was another one of those things. Well, I've watched so much sports and that I'm clairvoyant. I just know what's coming, and I told her if inning started, they got the first two outs. Remember, but at the beginning of the inning, I said they're going to get somebody on. Harper's going to come up and hit a home run and turn this whole game around.
Yeah.
Then Castellanos hit the home run that tied it up. Now, I was so happy for that guy because talk about crowds.
Yeah.
Philadelphia was booing them. Philadelphia booed their team the day before. Then they were booing them again because they couldn't score.
Right.
Then after the Mets got ahead, they booed them some more. Not everybody was booing, but there were people booing.
Well,
Castellanos came up there, and the guy threw him two sweepers, went down the dirt, and he swung at him. Oh, they booed him then, and they showed this guy in the stands. Never forget, big stocky guy wearing a sweatshirt, a Philly sweatshirt with white hair, pointing at Castellanos and going like that. Get him out, like that, pointing at him. So what does Castellanos do? He comes up and hits the home run to tie the game. Oh, and by the way, he got the base hit that won it.
Yeah.
So they're not booing him.
Celebrated with his son like he does after every win.
They're not booing him now.
Yeah, he's one of those good guys in the league. But when you go to Philly to play, that's what you're going to.
New York's the same way.
Right. You know what you're getting yourself into.
Then you got to deal with the press.
Right. And Turner has proved he's probably not the best suited to play in that situation. One of my friends threw up some stats where he's not doing well in postseason.
Well, he got the base hit. He was the one who got the base hit.
He got on. So it was time for him. And I'm like you. It kind of felt if it got to Harper that inning, and I kind of felt that too. And that's just, playoff baseball. Everything changes so fast.
I'm interested to see. I think the Yankees will win the American League because they're just Cleveland, and I don't think Kansas City can hit well enough to stay with them. And I don't think
they by losing that game the other night, I thought if they won that, I was like, okay.
Yeah, they got a shot.
Have a chance.
But Cleveland and Detroit, they don't hit much. Well, I've always said that. Cleveland's got great pitching, great defense, but when they get in the postseason, they don't score. A lot of teams don't score. You're facing the best pitching.
Right.
But Cleveland and Detroit don't score much. And the Yankees got enough big boppers where they can, sooner or later, somebody's going to make a mistake and somebody's going to hit one 500 feet.
Right.
But but the National League, the Phillies and San Diego, oh my word. San Diego, since the All-Star break, has the best record in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
In the last month, the Tigers have had the best. No, the last month, San Diego had the best record since the 11th of August, or the 8th of August, Detroit had the best record. But San Diego, they got some stuff, and they went out on the trade deadline and got two good bullpen guys. Gee, who did that before? Oh, I remember. the 2019 Washington Nationals. Oh, they got what did
Well,
they do? They won. They won it all.
Right. Well, I want to tell you too, though, because I was telling my friends this last night. You made a to 2019 Nationals. I was doing it last night with my Mets because the Mets just won't go away. Even when they're last at bat, you're sitting there going, okay, who's going to hit one? And that's the way the Nationals were in 2019. So it's great that we're making similarities to a team that wouldn't die and made moves to do great things. So,
well, I mean, I've heard some more broadcasters, not baseball guys, but broadcasters talking about, well, baseball is not as popular as this, that. But nothing is as popular as the NFL. Nothing. They took the top 25 shows from 2023 television programs, the top 25 in ratings. 21 of them were NFL games.
right.
The top 10 were the Super Bowl on down. They were all in NFL games. That's the most popular thing on television. So how you can't compare the other sports. Plus, baseball's a regional game. The attendance was up again this year for the second year in a row.
Well, I love the playoffs where we don't have either Florida team in it, so it doesn't. Nobody's playing in places that can't sell tickets. And thank God I ain't got to watch Arizona games because that just feels like they're playing in a cavern when they're playing. We just got a double to lead off for Detroit.
Well, there was a big controversy. Well, it's controversial, and people are really upset about it. I guess most of the older fans, but all of a sudden, when the playoffs started, the batting helmets had Strauss written on the side of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And everybody was going, "What in the world does that mean?" Strauss is a German company that makes work clothes, work boots, work pants.
Oh, I thought it was a Swiss watch company.
No, it's a German company that makes work clothes and work boots, and they paid MLB $5 million to put it on the helmets, and because they want to get an American market. That's where the money is. So they want an American market. Now people have come out and say, well, the uniforms are ruined. Now they got Strauss on the helmet. Half the baseball teams have advertisements on one of their sleeves, like for a hospital or Marathon Oil or something. They got the swoosh on their jersey now, telling everybody that Nike makes the uniform. And they're talking, and I'm going, okay.
Well, even when Majestic made it, when the Majestic was their official uniform maker for decades, it had a Majestic. It just blended into the uniform. But I understand because I don't like it on the helmet either. First time I saw it, it's like, what are we doing here?
All they got to do is put a few more stickers on there. It's NASCAR,
right? I don't. They started with the emblem on the jersey last year or the year before. I think it was last year. A couple of teams started doing it on the sleeves, and just to try to generate more revenue, especially smaller markets. But I don't like it on the helmet. It just sticks out like a sore thumb. Can you imagine the Steelers having their Steelers logo on one side of the helmet and the Strauss on the other side of the helmet? I know you don't like it, but
no, I don't. I mean, look, it took me years to get used to the names on the back of the uniform.
Right.
To me, it took away from the uniform because I grew up watching these guys play in whites and in grays. There was no name on the back of the uniform, just one on the front.
Right.
And if you cared about the game enough, you knew who the players were just by the number.
Did you see UVA wear their 80s uniform?
Yes. Yeah.
That's
that's why I'm wearing it. It's not baseball guys, but they actually beat Boston College, so I'm celebrating. Right. They're not going to win that many games, folks. They're not going to win that.
I think they're one win away from a bowl game.
I mean, that coach has done a good job with that team.
Right.
But anyway, the Miami Marlins, the manager had resigned because of a health problem in his family. So they said, okay, if the manager's gone, they fired the entire coaching staff. They're all gone. So whoever comes in is going to have to hire a whole new coaching staff. Oh, guess who's applied for the job?
A high school coach?
No, you and I saw him. You and I saw him play in Washington. Annabelle Sanchez.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he has applied. He wants to be the manager of the Miami Marlins.
Okay.
So he's an ex-pitcher. And hey, look, give him a shot. But he'll find out after he's in there 2 years that from the top down they get good pitching, but nobody can hit.
Well, they need to look at what the Rays do and try to figure out.
Yeah.
To copy. I mean, it's every league is a copycat league. What Rays do work. This first year, I haven't seen them in the playoffs, and I don't know how it went along. And and they were competitive this year. Nobody, but they weren't that good.
Well, Tarek Skubal, he's pitching today. He pitched today for Detroit. He was named the Baseball Digest Pitcher of the Year, and
he's looking good today too.
And that's for both. That's both leagues.
Right.
He was the Pitcher of the Year.
Well, I mean, we've been trying to figure out who the National League Cy Young is going to be, and it's, whoever you want it to be, I guess.
Well,
everybody about 500.
Yeah. Oh, another player. When the Yankees just put out their lineup, a lot of the baseball talking heads were screaming about putting Verdugo in the lineup, and he won the game. I mean, it's funny how I love irony. And
so who else were they want? Jason Dominguez in the lineup?
They said they shouldn't put Verdugo in there. He wasn't hitting that well. I don't watch many Yankee games, so I don't know. I mean, but
I think they wanted another left-hander.
Yeah, that's why they put him in there. And the Minnesota Twins, they fired their general manager, Thad Living. They fired him. They kept their manager, the field manager, but they fired the general manager. Oh, and Terry Francona is back in baseball. He signed with Cincinnati. He signed a 3-year contract with a 1-year team.
So has he come out to say why he took that?
He said he left the game because he couldn't put enough effort into it because of his health. He went out. He's been out for a couple of years, got his health back, and he feels good. And Cincinnati called him, and he thought about it, and he called him back and said, okay, I'll do it.
I mean, he's a great baseball mind. I mean, he's great.
Yeah. Cincinnati in the last couple of years, along with Pittsburgh, they look good for part of the year, and then they go back to revert to what they used to be, and they lose. But they got talent. Cincinnati's got talent. They just don't have enough pitching, but they've got talent. I mean, they've got one of the most dynamic players in baseball, Dela Cruz. The other thing that I found interesting was that the best division in baseball was the American League Central. And out of the 4 playoff teams, 3 of them were from that division.
Right.
So what does that tell you? That was the best division.
Right.
Only the poor White Sox, or I call them the Wet Sox. It's just man. Now if Terry Francona would have been called to take the White Sox managing position, he probably told him he was still sick.
Don't make me laugh.
Yeah. Oh, and if Kansas City won a playoff game, that was their first playoff win since 2015.
Same for the Mets.
And
first series they won since 2015.
And then San Diego, they lost Joe Musgrove. He's got a bad elbow, so he's out. And that sucks. That's tough. That takes a starter away from him. Because now after this series, it's not 3 or 5, it's 4 or 7. So
Quan just trapped the ball.
That's the other thing about first time in postseason. That Yankee game the other night, there were 5 lead changes. There's never been 5 lead changes in a postseason game before.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, you would think that had to happen, but it hasn't.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great game. That's what I'm saying. This playoffs this year, even
though all these playoff games,
the first series went 2 games, but still, they're entertaining. They were close. It wasn't like
the couple of innings ago when the Guardians had runners on first and third, and there was 1 out, and they slow roller to short, and that guy turned that double play. I mean, that was outstanding.
Yep.
And that right fielder, Cleveland, throwing the guy out at second, trying to get a double. I mean, Major League Baseball, folks, some of these people got talent.
Yeah, and I've been saying it since the beginning of this. When I saw what teams were going to be in it, there is so many superstars and next generation superstars that are playing this year. Young talent to, Salvador Perez. I mean, you can't. I mean, you have it all there. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, when you said Royals haven't won since 2015, guess who was on that team? Salvador Perez.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I love about this. And then we have Judge and you have Ohtani finally in the playoffs. It's just you got
Soto's back in the playoffs.
Soto. It's just so much greats of baseball that we're not missing. And baseball, that was one of the right moves they did. Was I didn't like it, so I'm a purist. But when they put 2 more teams in the playoffs, it seems to be the right move because we got better talent. You get to see more players on a national stage.
Well, see, and the other thing is too that the week off didn't hurt anybody. It didn't hurt this year.
Right. And
the Dodgers won the first game. Philadelphia lost, but they came back and won the next game.
Yeah.
And the Yankees won.
Didn't stop Wheeler's pitching. Holy smokes.
Well, see here again, son. This is what I've been saying since we started the show, and I've been saying it for years. Bullpen. Wheeler, lights out. 20 years ago, he'd have pitched a complete game and he'd have won. Now he goes 7 innings and here comes the water. The dam broke. So if your bullpen it's critical that you have a bullpen because none of your starters are going to go. This is John Smoltz finally made an explanation last night about the third time through the lineup because during the broadcast, they were talking about
watches our channel. Hey, John Smoltz, please subscribe.
They were talking about the third time through the lineup, and you and I've always said it's idiotic. I just pitched against these guys last week. It's my 8th time through the lineup, but no, it is a specific game. Smoltz said back when he pitched, or back just 25 years ago, 30 years ago, when people were still throwing complete games, he said what they did. When they started the game, they weren't throwing every pitch like it was the last of the 9th inning.
Well, I understand that.
So he said now, when you get to the third time through the lineup, the batters have seen everything you got, and at its finest. In other words, you didn't save a slow curveball or some kind of variance on your changeup till the 7th inning to spring on them. They've seen everything you got. So they want to bring in a new guy where they haven't seen everything he's got right away.
I've always understood that was the explanation for it, but everybody keeps books. They keep books. They keep video. You're not going to surprise anybody.
But see, that's
to me, you're just tired.
The problem I have with that is the guy you're bringing in, they hit against him before too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They done seen him 3 times if they're in the same league. I mean, I get what, and I understand 100% what he's saying. I still think it's an explanation.
If the guy is still throwing, if he starts out the game throwing a 90, 97, 98, and he's still throwing 95, 96, I might try to leave him in because the old adage, the guy you're going to get, is he better than what you got on the mound?
Right. There's a reason why he's a starter and the guy's in the bullpen.
Yeah, and
the Mets are proving it. They're stocking.
They used the numbers. They showed the numbers that proved the third time through the lineup.
I know. And I think it's because these guys now, Schmaltz also should have said when he was pitching, they didn't go 100% on every pitch either.
That's what he said.
Okay,
they did, from the beginning of the game, he said they come out of the gate throwing 100%.
Right.
And nobody did that because my dad used to tell me, he said, my dad didn't pitch, but he played a lot of baseball. He was almost signed by the Dodgers, and he tore his knee up playing college basketball, and That was the end of his baseball, every big career. But anyway, he told me that all his coaches in high school and at Randolph-Macon when he played baseball there, that they always told him, when you're the pitchers, you're in a rocking chair. You're just coming through. You keep the effort at a minimum because you're going to have to go a long way. And I mean, I pitched some, not much, but I pitched some. And I played right field because I could fire the ball to the plate and stuff like that. And I had a good arm. But I pitched some. But it was the same thing. Coach, if you're going to be in there for a while, you can't go all out because in 2 innings, you're done. So, I mean, I can understand it. It's just so funny because I can see Whitey Herzog coming to the mound and telling Bob Gibson, look, it's third time through the lineup, we're taking you out. Then they would have picked up Whitey and carried him back to the dugout because Gibson would have knocked him on his butt.
Right. And I mean, I understand that, but the game has changed so much now, because I've talked about it before. Even when Smoltz played, not everybody on the team hit 40 home runs. Now it's the little second baseman hits 25. So it's a different game, and you can't.
And everybody strikes out. And the other thing I was
3-2, 3-2 all the time.
The other thing I find so intriguing is the high fastball out of the strike zone. I mean, everybody swings at that. That's how they strike out. They throw the ball about this far out of the strike zone, about 95, 98, and everybody swings at it and misses it. Everybody swings and misses. They get strikeout after strikeout because everybody wants to swing at that pitch. They think they can hit it because it's right there in their eyes and they cannot hit it. Now, baseball players have been doing that since they started the game, but it's not all of them. Quan today got a base hit. He had 2 strikes, facing Struble, a left-handed batter against a left-handed pitcher. Now,
just played Pepper.
Quan has a better batting average against left-handers than right-handers. Go figure. But he sat there like this, just flipping the bat at the ball, fouled off a few of them, and then just kind of pushed it past the shortstop in the left field. And that's the way they used to. That's the way the baseball was played. That's the way we were taught to. When you had 2 strikes, you choked up an inch or 2 on the bat and just tried to make contact. Mm-hmm. You just tried to make contact. Sometimes you didn't, but you at least tried to make contact. You didn't have everybody in the lineup striking out.
Yeah, the game, like I keep saying, it's just it's the same game, but little things like that have changed, and it'll change again, probably, next few years.
Well, every sport has changed, and the main reason it's changed is the players. The players are bigger, stronger, faster. They've got way better equipment. They have better training. They have better diet. All that comes into play.
Right.
And so sports has changed a lot just simply because the players are better.
Right.
They're just better. And I don't know what the limit is. I mean, when you got people like Judge and Ohtani coming out there, I can't imagine anybody 7'3" or 4" weighing 300 pounds out there swinging a baseball.
Well, the center fielder for Detroit that's playing today, he's like 6'5".
Well, the kid in Washington is 6'5". Wood,
yeah, and he's probably about 250, 245.
Yeah, he's 230.
Okay, well, he's just a young man. Wait till he gets another few years on you. So yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. But these guys, they start as soon as 6, 7 years old. They play baseball. A lot of them, that's all they do year round. You got special coaches. They play travel ball. They play at a high intensity. And nothing much phases them. That's why they're ready at 18. We see so many good young players. Yep. I mean, this is it's a fun. I think it's a great time. I mean, I know you got to see the golden age, and I said it before. I don't know if this is the silver age, bronze age, platinum age. I don't know, but my gosh, we're seeing great baseball.
Well, I mean, I'm probably the best all-around player that I saw coming up was Willie Mays. I mean, just probably the best. If I had to pick one, he was probably it.
Right.
But, and all the great players I saw, I have never seen anything like Ohtani.
Right.
I just haven't. And Aaron Judge is the best slugger I've ever seen. I mean, he has a high average, almost won the Triple Crown, but for hitting home runs, this guy has just
right-hander and Yankee. He's not doing it left-handed. Yankees team's doing it right.
He's right-handed, so you have a right-hander and a left-hander, and both of them are lead their leagues in just about everything. And they're just I've never seen anything like them.
And Dodger Stadium is not a homer stadium at all. So
well, it is for Ohtani, but
Ohtani, Yosemite is a homer, park. So, I mean, that ball where he hit it clear, I've never seen one like that at Dodger Stadium in my memory. That one he cleared it, he put it on the walk out there. I was like, holy cow, I've never seen that. But that's what I'm saying. I've seen. I was in awe in the 80s and 90s watching baseball. There were so many greats. I name them all the time. I just loved baseball then. And I only got to see one game a week until we got WDCA, and I could see a few Orioles games.
And we got WGN and got the Cubs.
Yeah, later. I think
then we got the station out of Atlanta and got the Braves, and that's when I became a Braves fan because the farm team was in Richmond.
So, I was in awe of all of them, but man, these guys, I was in awe of them because I was a little kid. Now I'm in awe of what these guys do because they're doing it. It's just what they're doing. That they are just awesome. I mean, I'm rooting for the Royals not only because they're playing the Yankees, but I want to see Bobby baseball, man. I want to see him get farther than just now. I want him all the way in the World Series if we can. I want to see, but even now, like I enjoyed watching the Yankees game last night because, man, who doesn't like to watch Judge and Soto hit? Or tonight? I mean, the other night. Night before last.
Night before last they played. Yeah, they played tonight
that game, and I was like going. I mean, I enjoy it because it's great players. You want to see the greats. So
yeah, it's I'm still sticking with my prediction of the Yankees and Philly, but it wouldn't be. I would not be shocked if Cleveland, with their pitching and bullpen, comes out of the American League and San Diego comes out of the National League. I wouldn't be shocked. But I'm sticking with Phillies and the Yankees because they have the two best hitting teams, and they've definitely the Philly lineup is just a murderer's row. It's just if they start hitting, all of them start hitting, forget it.
Well, we're seeing that Cleveland Detroit's hitting is down now. Right now they're playing each other, so they got great starters and bullpen. But when they play the Yankees, Garrett Cole's not the Garrett Cole he was last year. And it seems like their bullpen is not what it was at the beginning of the year. You think they hit a little bit? Either one of those teams could hit against the Yankees better?
Sure. They have to prove it to me, but I believe Cleveland. If Cleveland scores 3 or 4 runs in a game, they're tough because they had 3 relievers come in the other day, and they've got Class A, which is the best closer in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 guys they brought in before him in the 7th and 8th inning could be a closer on any team in baseball, but the Guardians. That's it. That's the only team they couldn't be a closer on. Both of them were throwing 99 and 100.
Right.
All 3 guys were throwing 99 and 100 with breaking pitches. I'm going, oh my word. And like I said, when you get, it's like the Kansas City Royals of 2015 with those 3 relievers they had, the 7th, 8th, and 9th. If you get through the 6th inning and you're not leading, you're going to lose.
Right.
And Kansas City won the World Series because of that.
Yep.
So and Cleveland's got the same guys.
That's what I'm waiting to see. I mean, but hopefully Yankees don't face either one of them, and it's the Royals. But and I'm really interested. I'm glad that they split it up now, so I get to watch the West Coast game, at least some of it, before I go to bed. I mean, that first round when they're starting at 10:30 at night. I mean, who's watching? I mean, unless you're in the West Coast, that's it. I got to get up a couple hours after that. It's
well, that's like the NFL games in London of course, I'm in church, so I don't see it. But I mean, they come on at 9:30 in the morning on the East Coast. So if you're in LA and want to watch the game, you got to get up at 6:30.
Right. Yeah. So I forgot about that game and I knew it was coming up, but I saw the score. I was like, oh, that's right.
No, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I wasn't. I stayed. I didn't get to watch the game I wanted to watch, and your Washington Commanders. I'm sticking with my pick. They're going to win the East.
I don't think so. I think Dallas is going to win the East, and it's going to be tough. But I think Dallas is going to win the East. But you look at the NFC. Talking about going to the Super Bowl. Look at the NFC. That's wide open.
Right.
The best team in the NFC right now is Minnesota. Minnesota with Sam Darnold at quarterback is the best team in the NFC. That means it's wide open, folks.
Yeah. Well, you got anything closing for us?
No, I'm just having fun watching these games, and they're so competitive. I just hope they stay competitive. And I wouldn't be shocked if Cleveland came out of the American League and San Diego in the National League. I would not be shocked. The Dodgers have no pitching. Yamamoto, I've seen him pitch 4 times this year. He hasn't shown me a thing.
I'm with you on that. I think the best, and I thought it when it happened, the older pitcher went to Chicago, and he's the better pitcher.
He's the better pitcher.
So
yeah. And Flaherty last night looked like Flaherty with the Cardinals last year, and the Orioles.
Right.
So,
all right, Dan.
San Diego and the Phillies. That's gonna you talk about fun. That's gonna be fun.
Right. But that's not going to happen. We're not going to see that. Anyway.
Well, I know I was rooting for the Mets too, son. But that's I'm a realist.
I am too. That's why I had fun watching the game last night, and
that's why I'm wearing this, because being a UVA fan and having a football team that's never very worth much. When we win a game, we win a game.
Yeah, and they actually looked pretty good.
Oh, one other thing, my girlfriend Caitlin Clark won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, all but one vote.
All but one vote. Yeah, and that's okay, because it went to the second best Rookie of the Year. So.
Yeah, Reese. But if that girl from the Sparks wouldn't have blew her knee out, I think it would have been a little bit more competition.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's end it on that. Enjoy the games. Watch the games. # watch the games. And until next time, like, share, ask some questions, subscribe if you haven't. Doesn't cost you anything. And until next time, see ya.